Peace, this medicine man. Once again, I want to talk to y'all about the whole thing about being self-initiated and self-taught in hoodoo. One of the main things about hoodoo is that it is ancestral and hoodoo is communal, meaning that hoodoo derives and it thrives and grows inside of a community setting. So that means that when you connect with other root workers, when you connect with other people that practice their roots, it makes you stronger. You share information and you learn. Um, and this is how people learn. Secrets are passed on from root worker to root worker. But what has been happening now is that there are a lot of people that have been coming up now saying, that, okay, I'm a root worker and I know this and I know that. But then when they sit down with a real root worker, it's like people looking at you like you crazy because, you're taking a lot of made up stuff and you trying to put yourself out there as a root worker. A real root worker knows a real root worker when they see one, when they hear one, by looking at your work, by hearing you talk, by your perspective, the way you think. This is how people know if you're a real root worker or not. Because the real root worker don't philosophize or even try to mix African spirituality, African traditions into root work. So when you start seeing a lot of root workers talking about Oshun and Oya and Orishas, when you start seeing a lot of root workers talking about spirits that generally ain't in their root work, really not in their root work, they're adapting those spirits into it. They're appropriating. That's what they're doing. Um, and a lot of people are appropriating Orishas into root work and not really understanding the dynamics of how Orishas work. Um, and I think that that's being done by the online community for the most part. People appropriating Orishas. Now, one thing I understand about Orishas is that they work in a certain capacity. They're divinities and they work in certain capacities. And what I do know about Orishas is that they work in a way that's applicable to how they operate. It's a system. So when you work within a system, and trust me, as a root worker, I'm very well aware and skilled of working outside of the system. But there, even still, there are things that you got to know and things you must do. And when communicating with these spirits, you just don't call them. You see? And this is one of the mistakes a lot of people make. For example, with the Oshun, I see a lot of women calling Oshun, 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 Oshun. But from my understanding, what I was taught about Oshun, or the reverse nature of Oshun, um, would be a problem for women with children. Because Oshun generally don't like children. Oshun is pure vanity, selfishness, beauty, selfishness. You know what I mean? For the most part. So when you claim that energy as a woman and you claim that energy and you have children, what does it say about the children? Because when you want to deal with a spirit or a Risha that will empower a woman with children, you should be dealing with Yemiya. I'm just saying, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? If I were you, for the most part. But definitely working with the right spirit and understanding these spirits is very, 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 very important because a lot of things that we see in books are just half truths. You don't realize the real truth until you start working with these spirits. And when you start working with these spirits, you start to realize that these spirits are a little more than what they say they are in books and online. You start finding out that these spirits will affect things in your life very quickly and change situations in your life very quickly for the good or the bad. So with that understanding, we should be very mindful of how we appropriate other spirits into our root work. For the most part, when a spirit comes into our root work, that spirit should definitely be part of our ancestral lineage. You know, definitely be part of the ancestral lineage. Now, if you have Orishas in your ancestral lineage, which many of us do, then I would say that it is a good thing to work with the Orishas. But even then, you should work with the Orishas in the right traditional capacity because those are that is the tradition of your ancestors if they're in your bloodline. I just wanted to drop that for y'all real quick, YouTube, about using various spirits inside hoodoo because I understand that a lot of people are looking for spirits to work with. And the real understanding of a root worker is you are that spirit to work with. You want a spirit to work with yourself because this is going to bring the highest level of change and this is going to bring the highest level of power to you, working for yourself. You know what I mean? And working on yourself. So with that being said, peace is medicine, man. Dropping a quick one on y'all.